Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Nick Sanchez, of course, the driver of the number 2 Chevrolet for Rev Racing in the ARCA Series. He's making his Xfinity Series debut this weekend for BJ McLeod Motorsports in the number 5 Chevrolet in the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Nick, you've been talking about this for a few months. It's been a few months since this has been announced, and now it's finally here.
Yeah, definitely something that I've been looking forward to since it's been announced in October. So kind of something I've waited for. I'd say I waited a while for this. But yeah, finally looking forward to it.
Yeah. So kind of talking about the opportunity that you have here. What going into this race, going into the Xfinity race, we'll talk about the ARCA stuff in a second. But going into that race, are you going to feel nervous? Do you feel pressured, nervous, or anything? Because,
No, I mean, honestly, I would say I'm almost more nervous. I mean, I'm not really nervous for either, but I feel like I have a little more pressure on me for the ARCA race. The Xfinity race, it's no expectations and, just kind of go implement what I've learned throughout the years in the ARCA series and just, go run it hard. Obviously there'll be a new car to learn, a new way of doing things as far as live pit stops, but it's another race car. And, I've raced with a lot of those people in that series, friends with some of them. So really in my eyes, no difference, just, a little bit of a car difference to learn out, but I think it's for the better, at least for my driving style.
So let's get into this. Would you feel, so you said you had pressure on you for running the ARCA car, though.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily pressure, but I feel like, I almost need to go out there and win. Because I feel like when you look at the equipment comparison, BJ's cars might not be able, historically might not be able to contend for wins. I'm not saying you can't, but, I feel like last year in the ARCA series, I put a lot of pressure on myself to, go perform. And, seeing the car roll out of the shop this week, I feel like it's, at least in my eyes, the nicest car I've ever seen roll out of the shop. So all those things mixed together, I personally expect really good results out of it. So I just got to go do my job there and, see where we pan out.
Let's talk about Phoenix for a second. I know that's a place that, and you've raced that a lot. Obviously, we all know what happened to you last year at that race, but talk about what you need to do this weekend to, I mean, we've seen you go out and win. It's going to be a pretty competitive field out there, right? As of right now, there's 40 cars entered for this race. That's a lot of cars. That's the most we've had in a very long time. What's that going to be like for you to go out and do what you need to do at that track? What's the most difficult place you have to kind of navigate Phoenix a little bit?
I feel like, Phoenix is like a mix between a short track and a big track. Obviously, in the past, I've been there with a lot of different track changes happening, whether it be PJ1, resin. We still don't know what they're going to do this year. So obviously, each time I've gone there, there's kind of been a different factor at play that kind of changes the way I approach the weekend. But I feel like, navigating all those different changes, the little things that turn out to be a lot, just like little track conditions. I feel like it's given me a really good idea on what to expect going into the weekend. And really, the entry list of 40 really doesn't change the way I attack it. I'm racing a couple people up front for the win, and I feel like it's going to stay that way. And, just I think the biggest thing, just not beating myself, pretty much just race myself.
That's the first rule in racing. Don't beat yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about how, I know we've only had one race, and of course that was Daytona. How do you think that went for you?
I think from a managing risk management perspective, I feel like it's the best race I've had in a super speedway. Obviously I worked with my teammate a lot. I probably could have gotten to the front a little quicker if I wasn't working with him. At least, the way the draft planned out and the way we passed cars. But I feel like it was really disciplined with the way we worked with our teammate. And I feel like that's good for me and Raja. And yeah, I think we were there at the end. We were running 7th on the inside line with 18 to go. So at a track like that, I only have one teammate. Venturini they have 4 or 5 cars, and same with other teams. So we had to pick and choose our battles, and I feel like we were in position at the end to, if not win, maybe get a top 3 or top 5. And at a track like that, with the way the ARCA cars race, that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I know that have you entered this season? I know I asked you this before Daytona. I know that the mindset doesn't change, the goal doesn't change, but now that you got that win at Kansas in the last race of the season, does that any of that change entering into this race? Because you now know what it feels like to win. Now you got to go feel like, and you need to go out and do it. Yeah.
No, I don't think it really changes anything. As far as the way I attack the race, I think I'm doing it the same. I feel like this year could be a little different because, I don't think we won Kansas off sheer speed. We weren't able to go dominate. And, that's what I'm looking for out of myself and the team. I want to go dominate the race. I don't want to have to rely on a late race restart to pass someone for the win. So I feel like my attack is, I'm constantly pushing towards that. And I think we're improving the speed of our cars. So I think my mindset will change, but not for the worse.
Right. And just I know that there's a pretty big gap in between. This is probably going to be the biggest gap between the next few races because Phoenix and Talladega are so far apart. I mean,
Yeah.
a few weeks. What are you going to do with yourself?
I don't know. I mean, just kind of, sit and wait and study for Talladega in the summer.
Yeah.
Obviously I feel like this Xfinity race could open some doors. So you never know. I mean, I could see me jump in a race in between at some point. So never take that off the table, but yeah, just kind of the races that I have picked out, focus on those and, try to maximize them.
How many Xfinity races do you have planned so far this year?
I think right now set in stone, like about 4 to 5. Okay. And they're pretty spaced out throughout the year. Probably the closest 2 starts I'm going to have is later on in the year. So they're pretty spaced out, but, I feel like the tracks that I've picked and the situations I've picked were the best for me.
Right. Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, Nick Sanchez, thanks for talking with us. Good luck in the ARCA race on Friday night and good luck in your Xfinity debut on Saturday.
Thank you.